Greetings from New Jersey. Hey, Malatarada, why don't we just meet right after the class, if you're listening?
Yes, of
Um,
course, thank
okay.
you.
Um, Reading from Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, chapter 1, book 2, chapter 2, text 62. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Catur-yuga-sahasrasya tatratyaika-dinasya ante trai-lokya-dāhena jana-loko dhigamyate. At the end of 1,000 cycles of ages, for that place one day, the conflagration of the three worlds forced us to take refuge on Janaloka. Mahaloka exists for the same duration as the planet of Lord Brahma, but because Mahaloka is adjacent to Swaga, its inhabitants are forced to evacuate by the heat created during the fire of annihilation that burns the lower worlds. After Mahaloka, Janaloka is the next highest planetary system. Om jana-loko gananjana shalakaya chaksur unmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya-manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadantikam Pancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, greetings from New Jersey. Most of you are on the class on Sunday. Just wonderful time in Moscow. Practically really good programs every day. And a lot of people I know in contact. So we're in this story, and I'm writing my Monday morning greetings based on some of the realizations here I just began. It's called Rasa, Geography, and Krishna Consciousness. And basically, I really want to explore this point of Mother Uttara, who got this wonderful summary of the Bhagavatam that presented in such a systematic way Braja Bhakti, Gopi Bhav as the right destination. And then she inquires about the place, and there's two more books about it. So my natural inquiry, which I want to answer, is what's so important about the place? And I'm going to elaborate on two reasons, which I think the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta brings out. The place one is in intentionally reflects his desires. And the place that one is in intentionally or unintentionally, just something like, well, anyway, the place that one's in supports the particular relationship you want to have with someone else. You know, in Indian houses, I'm a little groggy because I did Nirjal yesterday, and I just broke it. So I just say, yeah, so I just lost my thought. So the place indicates the mentality of the person and the relationship you want to, oh yeah, for example, classical Indian house, there was an inner quarter just for the husband and the wife, because the love and relationship they want to exhibit is not appropriate in other places where other people have different relationships, where that relationship would have to be covered, or otherwise it would not nourish or in fact disturb the relationship of, for example, the children or the parents. Of course, in modern age, I don't know, it seems husband and wife don't stay together. That type of relationship is also inappropriate. So the place is extremely important for the relationship that you want to have with a particular person. And furthermore, in terms of God, who sets the ultimate objective, when he has particular desires, a particular environment manifests. And that's why it's a science here, which is reflected from that ultimate reality. So we'll see Gop Kumar ascending to different planets, searching for the supreme, because his mantra was given by the Lord of the universe, so he's searching for the Lord of the universe, and he keeps on finding the Lord of the universe, but not having a intellectual understanding, a tattva, a siddhanta, but he becomes very attracted until the mood of Braja Bhakti comes up by the chanting of his mantra, which no longer enables him to be satisfied in that place. And when he sees, when visitors come, another recurring theme is visitors will come and the people on that planet may worship them, so then he understands there's something higher. But it's all, and he's about to leave and he becomes dissatisfied, and then God comes and he becomes attracted again. So I think it's really quite natural. A person you love, you want to be with, even if they don't manifest that type of personality that you have a relationship with. I give an example. You have a father and he's very intimate and loving with you, and then you see him with his friends, and he's a little bit of a different person, but you're still happy there until you think of your relationship with him, your specific relationship with him. And after a while, you will want him in an environment where he can manifest that relationship. And so that's what happens. So in each place, he becomes dissatisfied for several reasons. One reason is the Lord's not always manifest. And one thing about Gop Kamor, that simplicity of heart, he has some very high samskaric attraction to God, even though he doesn't have some bandhagyan, doesn't have really deep knowledge. He has an attraction to God. So anytime that person whom he's worshiping, who doesn't really understand if this is his mantra is giving an attraction and a sense of what that relationship he has with God. So he has this simple bhakti. He's very attached, which is the fundamental principle of devotional service, is your bhakti, your devotion, your attraction to Krishna. When he leaves, he's dissatisfied, and he becomes dissatisfied when his Braja Bhakti, his eternal relationship with that person, with that God. So he was on Mahaloka, because in Swargaloka, the Maharshis came, and he saw the people who worship, even the people on Swargaloka, Indra himself, are worshiping the Maharshis, these great sages, and he wants to go there. And then the other theme that comes on, the power of mantra if chanted with intention. Tivrena bhakti yogena, if it's chanted with tivrena, with great force, with great attention. Akama sarva kamo va, moksha kama udharadi, tivrena bhakti yogena, yajeta purusham param. Tivrena, sunray, forceful. This is how we change our life. With Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, forceful, determined. Wherever the mind wanders, we bring it back. We understand this. So he goes to Mahaloka, and he becomes very attracted there. It's sattvic atmosphere, and sattvic atmosphere is conducive to transcendence. So the chanting of his mantra becomes empowered. So with the appreciation of the place that allows him to have this sattvic existence is also the depth of devotion for something who's transcendental. And you could see that simplicity and that devotion is so much attractive wherever one is. And what another theme is the transcendental system. God wants him back. He wants everyone back, but everyone is at a different level of realization and requires a different experience, good or bad, to elevate his consciousness, but God is always there. So he chants mantra with intention, and he goes to the next place. And there we are. He's at Janaloka, because what happens is, even though Mahaloka exists, as long as Lord Brahma, in a day of Brahma, which is 1,000 times 4,300,000, 1,000 times 4,320,000 years. There's a devastation, and it's burning. And Mahaloka, which doesn't become destroyed in a day of Brahma, feels the scorching heat. So even though it's so perfect there, another theme, Brahma Puvana Loka, from the top planet to lower, it's there. It's there. Anytime in the material platform, there's problems. Birth, death, disease, and old age. So he goes to Janaloka. And what's the difference between Tapaloka and Janaloka? I'm not sure. Because he doesn't stay long on Janaloka. Because a Janaloka, I think Mahaloka was they were worshiping, and Yageshvara, in every house, God would appear in a beautiful form in response to sacrifice. And that form of God, whatever it appears to express a personal relationship with Gop Kumar, which is one of the intense desires that one in an advanced stage of Krishna consciousness has. You want acknowledgement. It's just a principle. If you have a relationship in love, you want an acknowledgement of that. So now he's on, so at Yogeshwara, he would get that. But then when the sacrifice ended, then the Lord of sacrifice would become unmanifest. So there was some dissatisfaction. What ultimately he wants his objective, which is eternal, which he can always live within. So he goes to Tapaloka. Rajanyami vajatayam yagyabhavena tatratu yageshar darshanena syad dahastad dayato dika. On Janaloka, as if it were nighttime, no sacrifices were being performed, and the pain of not seeing the Lord of sacrifice burned more greatly than the burning of the three worlds. So Mahaloka, they're worshiping Yogeshwara, and on Janaloka, we'll read, there is no literal nighttime in self-effulgent Janaloka, but when Brahma goes to sleep, along with Lord Kabodakshai Vishnu, the lower planets merge into one vast ocean. And throughout the universe, both sacrificial and ordinary activities come to an end. When no sacrifice is performed on the planet of the sages, Lord Yogeshwara no longer appears there. And for Gop Kumar, the pain of the Lord's absence was worse than the scorching fire of annihilation blasting from the mouth of Lord Sankarsana. So here, he's advanced. And how do you know he's advanced? He feels separation. On Prabhupada's disappearance day, the greatest offering is a teardrop expressed from separation, because that really shows one's love. Tatokshaya batachaye shetresi purushottame agatya Sri Jagannatham pashyayam iti rochati. Then I thought it would be better to go see Lord Jagannath in Sri Purushottama Kshetra in the shade of the infallible banyan tree. Infallible, this tree remains, Puri remains. So he can't tolerate separation. It's painful to the extent that one's attached It's to the extent that separation is painful. So this kind of separation, it's like the gopis. They curse Lord Brahma for the blink of the eyes. It's so deep. So this is very deep devotion. So he can't tolerate, so he thought better to go to Lord Jagannath, who, when you don't see the Lord, it's because you left the Lord. It's not because the Lord left you. So he has more hope of being there. Mahaloke gate pyatma japad rahasi purvavat sampadyamana chokrasyat asya bhumir didikshe. When I returned to Mahaloka, I chanted my japa in seclusion. The chanting made me morose with the desire to again see this Lord of Braja. So at one day, after some time, where the devastating fire of the annihilation, the day of Brahma, subsides, then he can go back to Mahaloka. Because the only reason he left Mahaloka is because of the fire in the universe. Purport: Gop Kumar refers to this land of Vraja because he's speaking to the Mathura Brahmin in Vraja itself. The separation from Lord Yogeshwara that Gop Kumar suffered during the partial Palaya was relatively short, but his constant remembrance of Vrajabhumi more seriously threatened his happiness in Mahaloka. He might have forgotten of his urge to go to Lord Jagannath, but not his attraction to Vraja, which was much greater. Okay, we'll go to the next verse, as my braid went dead. Pradurbhuto ta Bhagavan iyamano dayanidhi yadamam avaye pritya mam nitam lilayaticha. But then the Supreme Lord would appear, the object of sacrificial worship, the ocean of mercy. He would call me with love and sportingly eat with what I brought from him. So now again, Yogeshwara in Mahalok is reciprocating with him. And it's his Lord, but not opening his heart fully to the relationship which he has because of the environment which he's on, which is basically tapasvis, great sages, austerity. He would call me lovingly and sportingly eat what I brought for him. That acknowledge of love in a relationship is so powerful. Tadani yeta sarvatis tamasur yodayeta ratravapi tadekasa badhanesha kvachit katau. He would then dispel all my distress, just as the rising sun drives away darkness. Bound by one hope of being with him, I could go nowhere else, even night. So the separation, now it's not just that his father is there and can't reveal himself because of the atmosphere. His father is gone. His father disappeared. Or disappeared at certain times. So now, but then when he came back, Lord Yogeshwara again manifested. He was so satisfied. And during the days, he forgot to urge to go elsewhere because of the ecstasies of seeing Lord Yogeshwara, taking part in the festivals to worship him, and obtaining his abundant mercy, even during Lord Brahma's night. Gop Kumar's expectation of soon enjoying this sight, this worship, and this mercy continued unbroken, binding with the chain of hope. So look, he had that faith, and I say it a million times, trust by experience. So even though he's in a place with the manifestation of God, it's not his mood. It's not his God. Unless he sees it in relationship to Krishna. Oh, look at Krishna dressed as a king. And Krishna, yeyata mam papadyante tatsatam tam tataiva bhajam. I am in everyone's heart, and I reciprocate with mind, body, and intelligence. Wait, you see, my brain went to sleep there. I am situated in everyone's heart, and I respond accordingly.
Oh,
I'm not sure how much longer I can go today, because I traveled, and I had kind of jet lag. And I didn't have bad jet lag. By the mercy of one devotee, I was bumped up to business class, so I slept on the way back. But still it's there, and then near jana-loko, and then breaking the fast makes me, and I can see, because I was quoting a verse, and then it went into another verse. Yeyata mam prapadyante tamstata. Everyone follows my path in all respects. So, as you surrender to me, I reward accordingly. Once someone arrived from a higher planet, his form surrounded by brilliant light. He was dressed by the directions only. He appeared as a 5-year-old. So now, Sanat Kumar, one of the 4 Kumaras, appear. And what's interesting, and we sharing this with Dhanurdhara Swami, who was nice, is that they travel to bless people. They'd only stay on their planet. So they came, and he saw everyone worshiping these 4 Kumaras on Tapaloka. And as Mahaloka had 1,000 times more pleasure than Swagaloka, Tapioka, even Tapaloka, has even 1,000,000 times more. But the problem here is God is within the heart. They don't even have deities. And in fact, in Satya Yuga, I said this many times, there weren't deities. Because people saw God in everyone's heart. The deity was to establish an absolute public manifestation of God. Okay, we'll do this verse and the next one, and then since the residents of Mahaloka frequently travel to Janaloka, the 2 planets are practically a single system. The one difference between them is that on Janaloka, the fire of annihilation from below is far enough that there is no need to flee. Gopkumar knew all this from experience. The next world for him to see was Tapaloka. So now he is being introduced to its greatness. Having never heard of Tapaloka, Gopkumar here refers to it as a higher planet. The unknown person who suddenly arrived from the higher regions looked like a small child and was naked. To go naked is normal for 5-year-old children, at least in the natural Vedic culture. Okay, I'm going to have to stop here today. Yeah, and Hemalatarada, I'll call you because I have to take a nap now. I'll call you within a half hour. Okay, I'm going to have to go now. You want to, Gail, you can, and you and Chamuna Jaya can maybe get people's realizations together. Vanchakalpa Tubhyasya.